the Bronze Award is Milestone Environmental, Eric Pringle, CEO and Managing Partner.
Hi, thanks for joining us today. My name's Eric Pringle, and I'm the Managing Partner and CEO of Milestone Environmental Contracting. And I'm joined by Gavin Domitter, who's the lead and the Director of Indigenous Engagement for Milestone. So we're super glad you could join us. We're going to run through a couple of questions and answers related to the Canadian Council of Indigenous Business recently awarded Milestone with a Bronze Partnership Accreditation in Indigenous Relations known as PAIR. And this is actually the very nice acknowledgement that we got when we were in Calgary last week.
So for Milestone, it affirms our commitment to reconciliation and that journey that we've embarked on towards that reconciliation, and specifically the alignment with CCIB's pillars of integrating economic reconciliation through business. And ultimately to call or to heed that call to Truth and Reconciliation, Action 92. So this bronze accreditation is a recognition that assures us that we're on the right path on what is a long-term journey of listening, learning, and collaborating in building and strengthening relations with Indigenous communities, peoples, and businesses.
So for our partners, what it also means, both current and future partners, is hopefully an indication of our commitment to advancing truth and reconciliation. As was referred to numerous times at the PAIR Awards, walking shoulder to shoulder. Ultimately, the goal is to grow our relationships and prosper together, to learn and to address the past in a way that builds for a better tomorrow. And maybe I'll just take a quick moment to point out that the beautiful piece of artwork here was received by Milestone a year ago from DeConti Construction, and Andy DeConti and his partner Wanda Thursky presented that to us, and really in a pretty impactful way to remind us that it's not just what we say we're going to do, but it was reflecting on 10 years of partnership together and the meaningful work that we've done together. So that certainly has a meaning, and we wanted to make sure that we built that into the question and answers today. We've definitely seen positive impacts, and I'm so pleased that we have. The journey that we've continually refer back to is our mission, vision, and values, and our Indigenous guiding principles. So for us, it's really important that we have behaviors that really reflect what we're doing, and the entire and ongoing PAIR process and the CCIB pillars have ingrained Indigenous engagement, collaboration, and inclusion within the fabric of our business. And so we frequently check back on this to make sure that that's real, that the impacts of these efforts and the ongoing reflection and learning include numerous and long-term benefits. The first metric that we look at is economic distributions and the profits that we share with our Indigenous partners. And we try to, where possible or where desired, to make sure that we have full partnership with those communities or individuals. We feel that that's the best way to move, to Gavin's point, the call for action forward in business. The second item that we look at is employment for Indigenous and community members. The third is training and development, opportunities to grow capacity and career paths. And the fourth is goods and services procured from Indigenous groups and firms. And the fifth is community giving and engagement.
If we look specifically at the PAIR program and our efforts in working towards the PAIR accreditation, what this did was it prompted and guided us in the pursuit of honestly looking at the business, and I think, as we mentioned earlier, trying to create that alignment between our mission, vision, value, our Indigenous guiding principles, and the PAIR pillars, and that's been a significant benefit, which then translates into the things that you mentioned.
Right.
Now, that's not to say that we didn't, Milestone has been working with Indigenous communities since inception. So there's been a lot of benefits derived both internally and externally. I think what the PAIR program has done, like anything, is it hopefully will, and already has, taken us to the next level in sort of that evolution of our learning. I think an important thing to note as well is, for lack of a better word, sort of those internal benefits. And what I mean there is what we've noticed both through the PAIR program and even prior to that in our work with Indigenous communities and businesses and people is that impact it's had on our team. which has been significant. And those sometimes are less tangible, let's say, but extremely impactful in things that those individuals take not only back to the business, but back to their families and back to their communities. And that's something that's, we see derived at a community level, at a grassroots level. I think, as Annie Corver stated at the PAIR Awards, if I quoted her correctly, was leaders to learn and leaders to lead. And I think that's something we have to really contemplate on is there's learning for all of us at all levels of the organization. And in that way, that helps us become better leaders with respect to Indigenous inclusion, capacity building, and the rest. And when I say leaders, I mean leading in the sense of, collaboration with our Indigenous partners in the communities, and having that humility to go in with open eyes and open ears and to learn together. And then maybe, as Ken Latander stated at the event, is, we walk better when we walk together.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of ripple effects that take place. What I really like, actually reflecting on a little bit with the PAIR Awards, is they're actually mapping out a bit of a roadmap for us to get better. And that is certainly appreciated in the sense that we don't always know the best thing to do. And so this gives us some confidence as we move forward, following their roadmap, which has been great.
Yeah. I think, as we mentioned earlier, it's always nice to have that affirmation of those things that you're doing well, but then the reality of these are things that you're not doing, or these are things that you could do better. And the PAIR program has been a very good exercise in, call it, that self-examination. Yes, the bigger picture, the big answer. Maybe partly the answer in that is, we're continually learning. And maybe if I take it back to the PAIR program and our accreditation, it's now to take what kind of the fruits of that exercise and the roadmap and the implementation plan that was created, and to implement that. And then I think at the same time is to maybe on that theme of self-reflection, to continually refer back, because it's a constant process of learning. And I think in doing that, that'll help us conduct ourselves both in our business and personal lives to operate in alignment with, what the CCIB pillars and our own mission, vision, value, and Indigenous guiding principles try to embody. I think, again, to that point of priorities, really through this all, it's not just to create it as a priority, because priorities change, but really to embed this. I think you used the word is to embed this within the fabric of the organization. And that's something, something we have to give a lot of thought to, because, how do you make that part of your everyday life, or that corporate fabric of the business? I think maybe, as Tabitha Bull stated at the opening of the event that we were at last week, she said, you are going to be surrounded by powerful stories over the course of the day. And I think there was obviously some very difficult stories to hear, but there's also a lot of stories of success. We hope through this process, we'll be able to participate and be a part of those powerful, positive stories around Indigenous engagement, Indigenous inclusion, working in collaboration with our partners in, at the end of the day, providing that economic reconciliation, as you go back to the call to action 92.
Yeah, and I think, it was so true. The powerful stories were definitely present at the event, both in a reflective way, looking back, but also then looking forward and hearing some of the stories, even just at our own table. So for us, we certainly hope that we can contribute to more of those powerful stories. I know for the staff at Milestone, we're very conscious of the fact that in a lot of regards, the projects we've done, even just to date, have created a very positive impact and attitude as we all go down our journey. And so we're certainly hoping to do more of that. And in the business they were in, which is environmental remediation or cleanup, climate change resiliency, cleaning up legacy sites, just to name a few of those, we see the opportunity to look forward with walking that shoulder to shoulder motto with our partners, alleviating environmental impacts, which in some regards are part of that truth. Is a lot of the sites we work on have been impacted in a negative way until we show up and hopefully make them better, and thus providing long-term benefits, impactful benefits for generations to come. Gavin or anyone else at Milestone a call, we'd be happy to connect. Visit our website, which is milestoneemv.ca, and we'd be happy to arrange for a meeting or a phone call. We'd also be happy to journey out and see you and meet face to face and have a bit more of an in-depth discussion. whether it's about the issues that you want to talk about, the opportunities that you see, or just some of the work that we've done in the past. So for Gavin and I, thanks very much for joining us. And yeah, please give us a call.